Hi Georgina, here's the little voice inside your head video I promised you. To be honest, like as I said on the day, it was sort of one of the easier lessons I'm ever likely to give. One or two changes to your setup, and then that word that we said a lot during the session, which is just aggressiveness, just trying to be a bit more aggressive, trying to hit the ball a little bit harder, being a bit more purposeful when we do it. One on the left was the one we took right at the beginning of the session. Now, we mentioned a lot about making sure so the arms were a bit straighter at setup, like I said, just a bit more ready to hit the goal shot. It doesn't look like much, but you can see, if I just put this sort of line through your arms, you can see the arms are sort of at angles, the wrists bent backwards slightly, and basically all that is just you having your arms into your body a little bit too much, being almost I don't want to say lazy, but almost a little bit like lackadaisical kind of thing. You're not ready to try and hit this ball with any real force, with any real meaning. So that was one of the big things we did, like making sure it's set up, the arms were straight, and they were ready to hit the goal shot. And one of the thing really in your setup was making sure you had your weight forward slightly a little bit. If I just take this point here, which was between your sternum and sort of the middle point of your pelvis, I suppose, and just see how the upper body's just leaning backwards slightly. And we talked a lot about how that would encourage the club to be working like this as it comes into impact, meaning you were going to hit some thin shots, the odd top, and just generally not being as consistent as we really wanted it to be. Obviously we know you can hit a golf ball, it was a case of trying to do it time after time. So if we just take, let's put that back, just take that, and then the one on the right, which is a little bit later on, you can see that the upper body's just a little bit, it's more on top of your hips, so you can see that like your shoulder level is a bit more sort of equal to your hips. So you can see like that there, so one's sort of stacked on top of the other, which you can see this one here, you've got the level of your hips, and then your right shoulder just a bit lower than your left, which just means that it's just tilting you backwards slightly. And as I say, it's just going to give you one or two problems as you're going along. The other thing I've put in for you is I've just put a line next to your head just to give you an idea of roughly where we were going wrong. So if I just take this, both swings to the top of your backswing, I'm really happy with that. We talked a lot about you're not moving from side to side and how you do that bit really, really well. So if we take that to the top there, very little difference. If anything, you're slightly more over the ball on the right hand side, which is never going to cause you too many issues. In fact, none at all, as long as your weight doesn't start going back away from the target. The main thing comes from this point here. Now we talked about trying to get your arms straighter, and again just being a bit more aggressive, trying to hit the ball harder. So if we just take this one down, if we just take it back to about halfway down, so it's like a 9 o'clock position, I suppose. Now the one on the right, straight away you're more in front of the ball, which means you're more likely to hit the ground here rather than here. Now if you're hitting the ball, if you're hitting the ground slightly behind the ball, again as we mentioned, the club's going to start working up as it really gets to the ball, whereas this point here the club still has to be working down to this point before it starts working back up again. So they were the main points really for you. If we just run these through, and again, differences aren't massive, but they're enough to give you a better strike. If we just come into the ball here, if you just watch your head as you start coming down into the ball, watch how it starts to move back away from the target, and that's causing the club then to come up quicker You see there, just brushing the grass, no real divot. If you notice there into impact as well, if you just have a look at your arms again, just notice how the elbows are starting to separate, the arms are bending. So you've now got this gap here, and as we talked about, as soon as you start getting that gap, the club starts coming up too quickly. Now your head on this one, this was later on in the session, starts working forward longer, so at impact you're more in front of the ball. Arms still aren't perfectly straight, but you know, that's something that we're just going to need to work on as we go along. So if we just take those two impact positions there, earlier on your upper body's starting to work this way, whereas this one is starting to work this way, meaning you're more likely to hit the ground in front of the ball. And if we just fast forward this through, as you can see here, arms pretty straight, you can really tell you were working hard on that there. See again there, straight away, see how your head's coming backwards, so your body really is tilting this way. You can see how far back you're leaning really, whereas this one here, it's pretty much on top of the ball. I would like to see your lower body working forward a bit more, but all in all, I'm really happy with what we did. Just got a good example for you here. Just the top of the backswing, see how he's not really moved away from the target, as you don't. Now watch his move now into the ball. See how he really drives down and forward. See how much his lower body's ahead of the ball. Hands are ahead. And then look at the arms, perfectly straight. Elbows aren't separating. Look how his lower body works forward. That's the kind of feel I want you to try and have. So all in all, absolutely chuffed to bits with you. Main points: the setup, arms, again, a bit straighter, a bit more purposeful, ready to hit the golf shot as hard as you can, obviously while keeping your balance. Weight forward slightly, just to encourage you to hit the ground in front of the ball, and then arms straight, like squeezing the elbows together as you swing through the ball. Apart from that, just keep doing what you're doing and enjoy it as much as you can. If you've any issues, just give us a text, give us a call, you know my number. I'll speak to you soon, George. Bye.